Still waiting for X to give it to me on Stryker's perspective. This is Stryker. Well, can I take a second take of that? No, I have to keep going. So says the guy in the boost. The boost? I meant the booth. What the fuck is going wrong with my mouth? I need to shove something in it fast, and then suddenly there's 12 gay guys standing outside my door. Well, I didn't mean it like that. You guys are gonna have to come back later. Give me 15 minutes. I'll be done with these guys. Okay, so DMX, I didn't mean anything by that intro, but I am still waiting for you to theoretically give it to me. It's been a while, so, you know, just at your leisure. But anyway, like I was saying, we're celebrating. If I do have a dozen gay guys waiting outside my door, either A, I'm going to be happy, or B, I'm going to be scared as shit because I didn't know the internet works like that. Jesus God. For those of you tuning in, yeah, this is Stryker. I mean, I am talking to you as Jason, and don't get me wrong, I love the women, but yes, Stryker, he might like the gays a little bit too much. I don't know. Whatever. So apparently, well, the whole reason why I'm celebrating is because, like I said, it's because of this this thing called Java Monster Coffee Plus Energy. Loca Mocha. What is that? That's crazy chocolate? No. I don't know. I don't know French. Anyway. So the reason we're celebrating is that, okay, we're done with Nintendo. I've mentioned Nintendo enough. I've talked about that. We talked about the PewDiePie thing. I'm done with that. So now we're moving on to this RetroBlox thing. So yeah, as soon as, well, not as soon, but as soon as I end up spending money and a couple months go by on this RetroEngine Sigma, which I still should be getting in, what, early adopters get it in April. I should be able to get mine in June, but they are still taking orders for it. They have a 32 gig, and now they have a 64 gig version for 129 US dollars. The 32 gig is now a different model. It's a kind of a wood grain. It doesn't look like the Genesis, but you know, whatever. You can still get it for $80 US plus shipping. It seems to have a couple of things minus, or I mean, a couple of things minus. Yeah, that works well. People understand that. There's a few things not in the other version. But like I said, you can still buy it, but these do not come out until July, so you gotta wait an extra month, apparently. But yeah, on Indiegogo, I funded this thing, for those that don't know, this thing called RetroEngine Sigma. We already did a Stryker's perspective on it. And lo and behold, now this thing called the RetroBlox apparently comes out. So, as I was, surfing the web, because I guess people still do that crap. So I found, someone told me about this thing, the RetroBlox, which is going to have a Kickstarter in April. It's a modular console that lets you play retro games. Now, their definition of retro games is including the PS1 and whatnot. Mine doesn't quite. I like to think of the CD-based systems as a little bit more modern gaming, if you will. I like to think of retro as basically anything that's sprite-based. I suppose you could argue that a 32-bit machine, but really, when you think of a 32-bit machine, and not even necessarily arcade, but the 32-bit disc-based machines, you kind of actually think as being more modern, right? So anything that's retro, I like to think of as obviously, you know, Atari 2600 up to the NES, the Genesis, Mega Drive, the TurboGrafx, and I'm not sure about Neo Geo. Neo Geo is more of like a really expensive powerhouse arcade machine, essentially. But, so I don't know if I necessarily would include that, because that's basically, you know, arcade hardware at the time. And, that was the For Honor beta. It literally said the beta at the beginning, even though that was basically just the opening cutscene. But yeah, this RetroBlox, so apparently it is going to play. It is a CD DVD drive, which is going to let you play classic PlayStation 1 games, TurboGrafx CD, Sega CD, and more. So you'll be able to, well, I mean, it's just what I said. I literally just told you, so. And it's also going to support NES, Super Nintendo, Genesis, Mega Drive, 32X, no, not Super, it's the Master System, support via power base converter, Atari 260, I don't know what the hell that is. I assume they mean the 2600, they just spelled it wrong. But essentially, yeah, Sega CD, 32X CD, Mega CD for Japan and Europe, the PC Engine CD, Super CD-ROM for it, Arcade CD-ROM, TurboGrafx CD. So there's going to be, this is supposed to be, everything's going to be displayed at 1080p. Crowdfunding is currently planning to have crowdfunding, okay, on Kickstarter. Like I said, it'll launch in April. Contributors will get perks included in the first batch of consoles when it finally launches. So they got a picture of the console. You know, it's disc-based, and I'm actually kind of excited for this thing. I know. I literally just spent about probably $100 on this RetroEngine Sigma, and literally this thing could probably do the same thing. This thing, though, is more like a Retron 5 in the sense that I don't think it's necessarily meant to play the ISOs, the files of a PlayStation 1. It's actually meant to play the original discs that you have of the PlayStation 1. Now, but they are still talking about having this hybrid. Shoot, now I've gone too far down and now I'm watching related articles and people squeezing their toes. What the these damn internet things. There's really actually not that much information on this RetroBlox at the moment. It's just kind of the basic stuff. They're basically talking about this being a hybrid machine, though, or it's a hybrid emulation machine. I'm sorry I don't have footage of this thing. There's really actually only a picture. Stryker's perspective will probably be one of the first series that I actually end up creating entirely using Adobe Premiere, because I can take the game footage I've already shot, even using my Xbox One footage or whatnot. It's not going to be the best quality footage, but I'll be able to actually insert, text or pictures of stuff, that I'm actually talking about, so that you don't have to, well, A, see my face, or second, you might actually see some footage of the stuff I'm actually talking about instead of non-related beta footage of For Honor. It's the footage I had left over, I'm sorry. So yeah, so this thing actually looks kind of cool. It's meant to be modular in design, so you're meant to be able to essentially buy modules that rumors suggest it could be around $40 to $50, and then that module will let you play additional games that aren't going to be supported by the main unit. So, they're adding functionality, but trying to bring it to you at a cost. I believe they said it's supposed to be under $200. Now, simply speaking, out of the box wise, this thing is kind of cool in the sense that, it basically gives you a way to play those CD-based games like a Sega CD, but you don't need to have the system obviously plugged into a Model 1 or 2 Genesis. Because some of these CD-based systems, you know, they're... it's questionable how much longer, you know, they're going to last. If you got to replace a CD drive on something like the Mega CD or the Sega CD or a PlayStation, I'm not sure necessarily about... I haven't needed to look into it. Simply because, you know, PlayStation 2 is completely backwards compatible with PlayStation 1 for the most part. So I'm not sure what it costs in order to replace the CD drive for something like a Sega CD, a Mega CD, if you will, or a TurboGrafx CD, PC Engine CD, you know, either of those consoles. Not exactly sure what it would cost to replace it, but this is going to give you a way to do it. And with this supposed, you know, hybrid emulation, I'm kind of curious about it because I really want to review the full motion video games. You know, the FMV games of old. And, of course, a lot of them are on the Sega CD. So I've actually been looking forward to trying to do some of them. Yeah, and 3DO has some versions of it. Maybe 3DO is a CD-based game that these guys would be able to emulate as well. But the whole reason why I hadn't tried to look more into it, because for one thing, I liked using emulation, because in emulation you can actually speed it up, the emulation, which is great for some of those FMV games, because oftentimes, okay, I'm going to be talking past the end of the segment, but yeah, so when playing FMV games on an emulator, I like to be able to speed it up, especially on the Make My Video series, because I can actually... normally, there's stuff you just can't skip, and in order to see all the different, you know, permutations and the different pieces of video, you have to go through the same music videos over and over again, and oftentimes you have to just sit there for like 2 to 3 minutes and re-watch what you just did. But in an emulator, I can speed that up. Whereas, you know, normally you can't do anything. You can't pause it. You can't... there's just nothing you can do. So it helps in the FMV games, especially the ones that don't let you skip some of the video cutscenes. But I never liked the pixelation that you would get from running the FMV games in an emulator. I didn't really like that. It wasn't necessarily that smooth. Of course, you could argue that it's a sharper picture than being all blurry, but I don't know. So this thing looks kind of cool. I'm kind of interested in how the FMV games are going to show up. And quite honestly, if it captures stuff better than what the RetroEngine Sigma does, at least just for the PlayStation side, I might end up getting this thing too, but we'll see. It could be around, I can't remember if it's supposed to be under 200 or if it's supposed to be under 300. I think it's supposed to be around 200, give or take. But we'll see. We'll see what they do with the Kickstarter, you know, and what they decide to add to that, you know, and whatnot. But, so yeah, that's it. Quickly for me, on a personal note, yeah, I'm doing pretty good. My dad's still hanging in there, for those that care. He's still around. I've got the expenses with him kind of taken care of. I've got a brand new computer that I got sent. It's basically ready to open as soon as I get rid of some more videos here, put some more content out to you guys to make sure you guys are okay for a little while. I've got, like I said, Adobe Premiere kind of ready to go. Well, I mean, I need to download it, of course, but I've got the keys for it so that I can use it. So I'm still capturing video though on my Xbox One, unfortunately. So, but hey, a capture card is the next thing. So I'm looking for something around $200. I'll find a good one, one that, you know, works exclusively with HDMI. HDMI will let me do a lot of different stuff, especially with these retro consoles that are going to use HDMI cables. That works fine. That's how I can capture a lot of video, and then I can worry about, you know, needing to get something that captures in 480p, you know, for other game systems. But right now, you know, as some of you know, I don't have my game collection anymore. You know, it's gone, totally gone. I can't get it back. I'm not going to go into any details right now, but I've done it before. I mentioned details, but yeah, I don't have access to it. It's gone. I can't get it back. But I'm slowly trying to build it up again. But yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for asking. I love it when, you know, people care on the internet, because it goes so against all the bullying that usually ends up happening. But, so yeah, I'm putting out more content. I've got more content planned. I'm putting more effort into these videos. I hope it shows. Keep watching. Thank you much.